Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell, and today I want to share with you 10 ways to let go of negative thinking and embrace positivity. Now, has someone ever said something to you that dragged you down into a negative spiral? Dragging you down into feeling sorry for yourself, or worried, or challenged your worthiness? Without a doubt, negativity can quickly become toxic and hold you back from living the life that you really want to, if you let it. This is why I want to share with you 10 powerful tips that have helped me and still help me overcome my own negative thoughts and any negativity that may be around me. So tip number 1 is to always find the good or what's helpful even in the most challenging situations. So if you've ever had a setback, or if you're going through a rough patch in life, it's normal that negative thoughts may start to creep up and even threaten your positive outlook. So to counteract that, ask yourself these questions. So ask yourself, what's the one good thing about this situation? What's one thing that I could do differently the next time to have a better outcome? Or what's one thing I can learn from this? Or how would my best friend support and help me in this situation? Now remember, we get to choose the story that we tell about any situation. So if we can answer these questions in a positive way and tell a positive story about what's happened to us, like the gift that we found or the lesson that we learned, or what that particular situation taught us so that we could step into the successful version of ourselves, then that's the more empowering story. So don't get caught up in the drama or the negative story of that situation. Focus on the positive and keep moving. Okay, so tip number 2, don't take life so seriously. Whenever I find myself thinking negative thoughts, I ask myself, should I really be taking this seriously? And this most often leads to me saying, well, not really. And what I usually notice is that at that moment, I'm tired, or I'm hungry, or I'm overworked, or I'm getting too focused on one small mistake or one bad day, instead of focusing on all of the rest of the things that are amazing and that are happening in my life. Now, sometimes this question helps me to see that just because I did one small thing wrong, it doesn't mean that I did poorly overall. Or that this one negative thing doesn't mean that things will get worse and stay like that for a long time. Not if I choose optimism and to take small steps forward. So basically, this question gives me a reality check and grounds me to a level-headed perspective again. Now remember, this is just a moment in time. And it's a moment amongst a million moments that you're going to have in your lifetime. So don't take it so seriously, because remember, this too shall pass. Tip number 3, do more of what makes you happy. So what you let into your mind in your everyday life will have a big effect on you. So start questioning what you allow in. Ask yourself, what are the top 3 sources of negativity in my life? It could be people, websites, magazines, podcasts, music, so on. Then ask yourself, what can I do to spend less time with these 3 sources this week? Now, if you can't find ways to do that right now for all 3 of them, then take smaller steps and focus on doing that with just one of these sources. Okay, tip number 4, release. Holding on to negative thoughts can be toxic for your mind, your soul, and your body. One effective way to release them is by talking about them to people that's close to you. Spend time in nature, meditate, or work out. It doesn't matter what your favorite method of release is, just make sure that you let it out and release. Tip number 5, enjoy the present. When you're tapping into negative thinking, then you're often thinking about something that happened, or something that might happen, or both. So to snap out of that, put your attention fully into this moment instead, into what's here right now, what's around you in this moment. Start making a habit to spend more time in the present moment. And you'll find, in my experience, that you'll naturally have less negative thoughts and be more open and constructive. A couple of ways to bring yourself back into being mindful in this present moment are things like focusing on your breathing. So take a 1 or 2 minute pause and just take really slow, deep breaths. Make sure that you're breathing with your stomach and through your nose. Now, during this time, focus only on the air going in and out of your nose. Take in the world around you. Take a 1 or 2 minute break and get out of your head, get outside, and just take a walk and really be mindful about what's going on around you. Smell the aroma of the plants around you. Notice the colors of the trees and the colors of flowers. Listen to what's happening around you and really appreciate the fact that you've got sun on your skin, that you're feeling fantastic and you're in a neighborhood that you like. And you don't even have to leave the house. You can sit at the window and watch people walking by outside, listen to the noises from the street and the smells around you and the sun shining in the window and warming your skin. Okay, so number 6, don't let fear stop you. One common mistake people make is when it comes to fear is that they run away from it instead of facing it. Now, it's of course natural to feel that impulse to run and leg it and want to avoid fears when they can be vague and you're not really sure what they are. And often in our minds, we make them much scarier than what they really actually are. So what can you do about this? Well, one thing that's helped me is this question. Realistically, what's the worst thing that could happen in this situation? So when you start to fear a ground like that and begin to look at it with your feet firmly planted on the ground, then you most often realize that the worst case scenario that could happen isn't really that bad. And it's often something that you can make a plan to get around if it was to actually happen. And you can also probably start listing and taking action on a few things that will reduce the likelihood of this worst case scenario happening. So by doing this, you gain clarity about the situation and what you can do about it so that the fear does tend to become quite smaller. Okay, number 7, practice kindness. If you get stuck in negative thoughts or victim thinking, then one of the simplest ways to get out of your own head and the thoughts that are bouncing around in it is to focus outwards and on somebody else. So by adding positivity into somebody else's life in some way, you too can start to feel better and more optimistic again. So a few ways to add positivity to somebody else's life is just be kind. Give them a genuine compliment. Hold the door open for them, or let them drive into your lane while you're driving in the car. Help them out. Give them some good advice that's helped you or help people with moving houses or cleaning up or planning or preparing for a party. You could also just be there. Listen for just a few minutes in a focused way so that this person can vent and get everything out. Or talk their difficult situation over to help them start finding a way that they can get out of it. Okay, number 8 is to acknowledge 3 things that you often take for granted. When we get negative, it's easy to forget the positive things in our life, especially the ones that are just a normal part of life that we may take for granted a little bit too often. So a few things that I like to put my attention on and feel grateful for during such negative times are things like the fact that I have food on my table. And most often it's organic food. I have a roof over my head. I have as much clean water as I want. So really look at those things that we normally take for granted and sit and marinate in the emotion of gratitude around those things. Okay, tip number 8, start your day in a positive way. It's all about the way that we start the day. How you start your day often sets the tone for the rest of the day. So a pessimistic or negative start makes it hard to turn things around. But a positive start makes it a lot easier just to keep going with that emotion and the optimistic way of looking and thinking until bedtime. So a couple of simple ways to get your day off to a positive start is just a simple reminder that you see right after you wake up. It could be an inspiring quote. It could be maybe looking at your mind movie. It could be focusing on your dream or your goal that you're passionate about right now. So write it down on a piece of paper and place it on your bedside table or on the fridge. Or even create a meme and make it the wallpaper on your smartphone. Now get some positive information or conversation flowing into your mind. So listen to a positive podcast, read a blog, or a new chapter in a book, or something that motivates you and makes you laugh. Or have a fun or uplifting conversation with your partner, your kids, or your co-workers. So make sure that you start your day on a positive note, and it will set you up for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. Now before I go, I'd like to hear from you. Do you have any other tips that have helped you overcome negative thoughts? Now if you have, please share them here in the comment box. And don't forget to subscribe to the My Movies YouTube channel for more videos on personal growth and the law of attraction. Again, my name is Natalie Ledwell. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.